second trip to America, my second trip as a person there ever.
I was very excited about going back to the US.
I mean, in particular, Rosfest I was looking forward to, and we went there before, but we just did the one show in Gettysburg. I think it was just that aspect of sort of playing shows in different places that I was looking forward to the most, definitely.
I was counting down the days. Not only were we going back to the US to perform at Rosfest for the second time, but we also had a whole set of extra gigs lined up.
The other guys were, flying into the country and getting their visas sorted. But for me, it was more like sorting out the final details on how we were moving throughout the country, putting cars in the right place, and just general logistics thinking and finalizing all of those bits and bobs. I wasn't sure what was going to happen on the tour, but I knew it was going to be fun, that's for sure. I also knew that I was going to be completely musically drained by the end of it from playing some nights over almost 3 hours between two bands.
I knew there would be a lot of journeying, and I knew it would be taking place in a cramped Chevy van, multiple hours at a time. So there was certainly an element of mental preparation for that.
We are picking up two members of Edge of Reality and Guyer and the sound man. We're 10 hours out of like 15 in, so.
That way. Look at how desolate that is.
Do you want to go take a look?
Ice.
The first journey in itself was the drive from Fort Lauderdale in South Florida, which was where we flew into, up to Gettysburg for Rosfest.
Yeah, okay, I'll catch you. Where are you going? Well, I'm running away. Oh, you can't escape me. Oh no, this is not happening.
Hey Dean,
Yeah.
what's your favourite tog measurement?
Whatever this is.
So, day 3. We're in day 3. We're in Gettysburg at the Eisenhower Hotel. We're playing in a few hours, and
Give that rack, give those tom mics a quick look. Make sure they're all jammed up in their faces. Which one were you just working on, man?
yeah, the top one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they look okay, Dom? I trust you.
Look fine.
Cool. Keep, watch your ears, Dom. Back on up. Keep going on rack, please. We're definitely having trouble with that one. Moving on, Dom.
I thought my bass was sick, what I'm saying. Your bass was quite Thank you very much. Yeah. How long is
spending in the States, you're doing a few more gigs, right?
We are here for another 3 weeks. Nearly 3 weeks.
It's just so much fun. The festival is so well ran, and it's in a great venue that sounds amazing, and the fans are so gung-ho about it, and then there's after party and jam sessions, and just, it's like a weekend of just pure fun, really.
We were on that stage for an hour and a half, and every second felt welcoming. It's just such an amazing experience.
Do they look like each other? Who is Joey? Who is John?
Can you tell between the three of us?
Is it him? Hi there, excuse me. Can I have one of these, please?
One of those, what's that?
I would like a Vox Humana, please.
Vox Humana, no, you're not pronouncing it right. It's actually pronounced Poo-Che.
How much is it?
It's not for sale.
It's not for sale.
Are you considering anything else from this desk?
Yeah, is anything, can I have this one?
No, it's not for sale.
Okay. Do you sell anything?
No.
Is anything for sale?
Excuse me, sir. Can I buy this?
Yeah, no, that has $15. Yeah, 3. I can supply. I can only do 4.
No, they want. You got a deal.
Fantastic.
Hey! I want this as well.
Not for sale.
What are you doing?
Adam has a knack for getting weirdly fixated on just random things, and they're inexplicable to the rest of us, but in his brain, they're just, it seems like a good use of his time.
Mr. Sandman, give me the cutest that I've ever seen. Give me the west, give me the west.
I don't know the tune.
And I suppose that no one will come over.
So then eventually we ended up at the hotel arcade.
So much fun. I got to play Dance Dance Revolution with a random person I met there, and I technically won, but also lost.
The power level, it's over 9,000.
So yesterday we played a gig in Gettysburg, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Yeah, it's a good time, man.
It was sad to say goodbye to Rosfest for the second time. We packed our bags, loaded up the van, and made our long journey up to Boston on the Sunday.
We left Rosfest, I think, on the Sunday, so we didn't get to see that last day, which was a bit of a shame. That's just the way it is with touring. We don't get to see everything, so we left and we embarked on, from what I remember, quite a long journey up to Boston.
The journey to Boston was around 6 hours, I think, which in the grand scheme of things on this tour was not much at all. And, you know, we were still at the beginning of it. We hadn't been dejected by the horrors of driving through the night. So this journey kind of doesn't stick out at all. This was just completely fine. We were just happy to be heading to our first gig.
I guess that's how.
Oh, right, I'm done.
Very exciting to be headed towards Boston. You know, city brimming with history.
Yeah, I stayed up too late too many times at Rosfest. So the van journey was a good nap.
One word can change it all. One thought can frame the gold. One candle to a sun, and one drop turns to an ocean. Each step you take is far and wide. Each journey starts with the first one of all. It's all it takes to change the
Quite dirty. Marvin really wants to tip it over.
Robin's got the look.
It's quite an interesting fashion to go going here. Cause I've got these trackies and then that. I don't know what's really. It's a bit of a. It's like
It's a bit. I know what it is, Ron. It's a bit.
So we've just arrived in lovely Boston. It's very exciting. I've never been here before, but should we take a look at our room? So this is our room. Let's go take a look. What are you guys doing?
Hey.
What are you doing? Could you could you explain? Hello MTV. Welcome to their crib.
Is this MTV?
You'll see. They're playing this game. It's called Mario Party. Here's Byron. Hey, Lord Byron. We don't know why he's here.
I don't either.
Probably just someone from around the block. Dylan.
About that, yeah.
Okay, it's good.
You're right. I'll be gentle. Ooh.
See you tomorrow. Can you give us a knock? There we go.
So this is the PA's lounge. Somerville, Massachusetts.
Byron, do you have an extension?
I want to show you a little something. Right, this is the men's here, okay? I don't want to know what that used to be. We've got a lovely bit of brown, black kind of mininess. Women's, not bad, not bad. This, the pit of depression. And you know what the best bit is? The best bit is, no, you just close it. If you want to go for a poo, expect someone to join you.
It's a day in the life of joy. Frank Oda 2 years later after the second one. Things haven't got any better.
Right, guys, you want to run a song? Start pulling stuff up.
So after the Boston gig, we journeyed down to Manhattan.
That was one of the most straightforward journeys of the entire tour. Less than 4 hours, which by English standards is still pretty ridiculous, but by American standards is pretty alright.
There's so much driving. It all kind of blurs into one. The van, time that was in there and things that happened, what order that was in, I'm not really sure.
So this wasn't our first trip to Manhattan. We rehearsed there for our 2015 Rosfest appearance, and we got some band photos taken. So we barely had any time to do any real exploring, but this time around, we had a whole day to do whatever we wanted with. Right, shotgun sofa then.
I slept with Robin the other day, so I'm afraid it's going to be Adam and Sam. Oh wait, no.
We went to a guitar centre, which is always dangerous when there's a lot of musicians around, so you're in there for about 5 hours.
Thank you, Squire. It's like I'm literally being transcended into another universe.
Descended into another universe.
Yeah.
Like hell.
Nick, what do you think of the basses in this shop?
Half of them had cracks in them.
I think they give more priority to the
like,
guitar.
hey, here's a deal for a bass that has like half of it missing. Still wanted like $1,500 for it.
Yeah, the basses look second-hand, and I guess, you know, everybody goes in there and tries them, and eventually they are second-hand basses, you know.
Get the camera in my face.
Hey, you're not authorized to do that. Hey, you come back.
What, are you trying to get something started?
Oh, excuse me.
House. For sure.
Adam from KYROS, right? So, is it true that you had 2 babies? Is it true? Huh?
I mean, it's the first I'd heard of Adam's 2 babies.
Oh yeah, I was a bit concerned with some rumours from Ukraine where they found 2 kids resembling Adam Warren. And basically I had to I had to find out if he has any relation with these 2 kids that I found. You know, one was called Adam Rokrinov and Julia Tenrukrov. So basically, you know, this Ukrainian woman sent me 2 pictures of these 2 kids, and they looked a lot like Adam Warren. So, what's the deal with the 2 babies? I haven't quite got an answer yet.
Some of them play. Yeah. Oh god.
We went to Manhattan last Rosfest as well, but because we were so busy rehearsing for Rosfest and doing like a photo shoot, so we didn't really get to explore the city as much. But this time we got to really see all the sights. We got to go to a few music shops and play some guitars, and including a really expensive 10 grand one that was really pretty sounding.
Rudy's music, that had some serious kits in there. Vintage guitars from the 30s, I think there was some from, you know, going a long way back.
But then it's charging itself. So it was this charging, it would be like 13. That's an art installation right there. That's a piece of art. So that belongs to the gallery on a pedestal. Maybe like
They had a very good Rickenbacker downstairs, and I enjoyed slabbing the hell out of it.
We went to Central Park for a little bit.
We stole that from Venice. Copyright infringement.
It smells really good.
If you hoof this against your eye.
Yeah, smell it. It's,
It's not the most rock and roll thing we've ever done.
It's hard to keep my hands down.
Nothing like anything I've seen in this country. You know, the fact that there could be such a big green space in the middle of that place.
It feels very healthy and sober in the middle of this metropolis.
One of the most peaceful places you could ever visit, yet it's in the middle of Manhattan.
This is incredible.
Poor Adam. He suffers from salaria.
Salaria. What does about salaria?
Instead of celiac.
Hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Today I've got some butter. Yeah, that's really good. I really like that.
So tell me.
If I don't have a heart attack by the morning, call an ambulance anyway.
It's fine with Joey. Plain paper. What, yeah. We should write it down, I think.
Can you assault Adam, please?
Can I assault Adam?
Yeah, okay. He's got him in a headlock. What is Adam going to do to solve it? What is he going to do to solve it? He's not doing anything. Do it. Get out of that. Okay. That worked. Oh, yeah. Bomb.
Oh, not again.
Light fire!
Oh, Jack, come over now!
Running through the sins of my desire!
Oh no, oh please!
A perfection.
So on a serious note, did you want to take one of the harmony parts that aren't as high?
The art form, known as improvisation, practiced by, you know, like the jazz legends, the rap legends. Peter is like they're here, you know, like they're good. Peter is here. He just takes these lyrics, these composed and sensical lyrics that, you know, various members of the band write, and then he doesn't use any of that. Instead he goes inside of his brain, and in his brain are better lyrics that he didn't even know were there, and he just puts them out there, and we're just left to marvel.
You can give him any song and he can just make up lyrics for it and sing it in the style of pretty much any singer. In particular, Morrissey.
Morrissey.
Oh. And now I feel...
You have to change the melody for that one.
Yeah.
You have to change.
And now I feel like desire. I feel like desire. I'm so happy.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Well, it's like kind of, he's got like the long sleeve shirt and he's sort of like...
How would you like to marry me? And if you like, you can buy the ring. She don't care about anyone.
I can't stand Morrissey. I don't really understand.
I don't mind Morrissey. I think he's okay.
Morrissey's fine.
My entire knowledge of Morrissey is 2 lines of a song that have been said over and over again by every member of the band to my total confusion. Would you like to marry me?
And if you like, you can buy the ring.
I love the fact that when he sings, he always goes back to the same note, and he always sings in thirds and fourths. He's the only one that can get away with that, I think, and sing a bit out of tune as well. Yeah.
Do you want to dance with me, Robin?
Who does this belong to today? Dean, is this yours? Nice ass, by the way.
I'm feeling very good about where the band is at the moment. I mean, I'm still very proud of that album. I really felt like we had something to say with that album. And I think certainly the next album is going to be quite different again. I'm very excited to see where it's going to go.
The best way I could describe the band's current situation from how I see it is we're still in a state of trying to figure it all out. We're trying to figure out how best to approach what we do, how to make it logistically make the most sense, you know, as a business make the most sense, or just creatively make the most sense, how everyone functions in their role in the band. How do we do this thing called be in a band that tours and makes music for a living? How do we make that happen, and how do we make that happen in the most effective way?
Really, the band is at quite a pivotal point at the moment. Not to say that we'll continue releasing our music independently, but for the moment it makes a lot of sense. At least until a label comes along that shares our mentality and our approach to things.
Even just on the musical side of it, you know, because we're currently working on the third album. You know, you would think that after having written as crazy, long, and involved an album as Vox Humana that we'd have a process kind of figured out. And in some areas we do, but it already feels like this is going to be a new thing to tackle that we haven't experienced before. So just newness, and we're still very early on in the whole thing. So nothing feels very set in stone as a band yet, I would say.
I'm just gonna get my laptop out of this. I'll put it back in again.
Something. Who does Byron normally go with?
What?
Do you normally sleep with Jesse?
Every night. Daddy Bambi fridge. Daddy Bambi. Daddy.
The band is as good as it's ever been. We've matured a lot. We're tighter musicians. We get on with each other very well. Family. I would consider them family.
Yeah, I guess it's not bad in the smell. No, actually, it's pretty bad in the smell.
The smell of coffee, me like.
Hello. We are in Long Island, New York. Today we're going to New Jersey to play a show for more Americans.
Yeah, should we stick it?
Oh, boom, Jesse Peck at his best.
America. Bacon.
I didn't post the shot. You have a really, really intense pout. In a couple of us, yeah.
I do take that face a lot, yeah. You want me to do that now?
No, I think I got plenty at Russ.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate that. Moral support is appreciated.
Don't be shy, Joey.
You got time.
Yeah, it's covered.
Legit.
Yes, Joey.
Yes. Looks like a drum.
Oh, gee.
There, got one.
All together now.
We're not even sort of close.
No, not at all.
No. We've been driving for 2 hours, and we got like 12 more.
We really hyped ourselves up for this journey because we knew it was going to be a tough one. Not only was it going to be a 14-hour journey, but we had 2 bands. All of KYROS and all of Edge of Reality in one van for that entire duration.
Just starting to get that little bit tired. You know, some of us starting to get a bit ill. You know, me and Adam felt that pretty badly.
Okay, this is the first journey that matters. So, on this journey, which I did some of the driving of and my dad did most of it. I wouldn't say it's like a regular occurrence for me, but it happens fairly often just because I drive back and forth from Nashville to Florida, which is about the same length. But it's a different thing when you're in a van full of how many people? 10 people? And nobody's comfortable and everybody can't sleep and we're all tired. One of the Jessies decides to not keep his lunch inside of him. And then once it's not inside of him but is in something else, he decides to not keep it in that either.
The bag spilled all over my seat. My seat.
You know, on tour, everybody has their rough patches, and that journey was a difficult one.
My wife bought me the brand new.
Well, he does that all the time, doesn't he? There's that's the tune. Making my way downtown, and you were a clown. Told me how to stop it. I don't know the lyrics, the melody, I don't know anything. If I could touch the rainbow still, I need you to be back uphill. I don't know it. What's this one? I'm just playing chords and you're just singing shit on top of it. Play and it please the Lord. F and you G. There for music C. G. Oh, the fifth A minor F G something else I don't remember. A divoking composing F sharp minor. A minor. I know it now. Okay. A, C, and G, E,
You think you should give some flyers out at the bail bonds places around town?
So this is halfway through the tour.
I keep thinking, oh, the tour's just begun, but it's flown by.
We're over and everybody's ill, except for me and Robin.
Yeah, well, actually Joey, I think, alright as well.
we got to Nashville, and most of the people crashed in my place, which was fun. And then Brandon, Edge of Reality's drummer, who's a native there, decided to essentially give everyone a tour of the city, which was cool, and things I didn't even know because I'd never go there.
Yeah, the big building with the two spires on it. That's what we call the Batman building.
What the fuck?
Pretty loud.
There's music everywhere.
You got music here. Got music over there. Got music over there. More music here.
We had some time off in Nashville, which was it was great. You know, every pub is brimming with music, live music. It was outstanding.
Every bar you walk past is like a live band playing there, which is not something I've really seen before, even in London.
Nashville was great. I just couldn't believe quite how much music there really was. I mean, you hear people say, oh, there's music everywhere in Nashville, but you don't really know what it means until you go there.
Like a bunker around here.
Why is there vape coming out of that car?
When the barrel goes, the state of life.
Help me discover.
Help me discover.
Dean, what the hell are you doing?
What's happening? Is that part of the song?
At this point, we're at the middle of the tour. The constant stream of gigging nearly every night, interjected with long journeys, really made for something special to me.
Yeah, not for that one. Can I park there? Can I park here? Probably. Like a tournament. This is not good. Okay. You don't need just last spreads. He looks at. Absolutely. Yeah, very well. Really? I thought it was. The back air is stronger than I expected. Like I imagine you should have like a... Go! Oh! Save me! Wake me up! I can't wake up! Save me!
So we left Nashville early in the morning with the aim of getting to Spartanburg in South Carolina in the afternoon for load-in and setup. At least that was the plan.
Not too long a drive. It was about 6 hours, or it should have been 6 hours. We had a few random occurrences happen. First of which was there was a man driving a literal house down the highway that blocked pretty much the whole highway behind him and caused like bumper to bumper traffic just behind this house that we were stuck behind for a good maybe hour and a half, 2 hours or so. So that slowed us down significantly, and just by that alone, we were pretty much already being late to the gig, which I was not happy about. I didn't want to risk burning any bridges with anyone. I wanted it to be as smooth and successful as possible, and you know, to people not to be like, oh, KYROS, they're that band that was late. But anyway, to make matters worse, after that, there was a semi-truck full of tomatoes that had crashed on the side of the road and spewed its contents everywhere.
So at this point, we were panicking about being late.
Driving in America is insane. Like 10 hours in a row. How do they do it? We complain with 2 hours in England.
We basically arrived at the venue at doors, like when doors were supposed to be opening. So we were just like, the venue hates us. We've lost our sound check opportunity. This sucks. It's gonna be this gig is kind of a write-off because we're gonna sound like crap. We're all in a bad mood. People are starting to get sick. But then the venue wasn't open or ready to have us come in yet for another like half hour.
So that was strange to say the least. We were given a loading time and then weren't allowed in at loading time.
Here's my running theory. The house and the Tomatoes were in cahoots. They thought, man, if these guys get to Spartanburg on time, like decent human beings, they would be stuck outside in like 90 billion degree weather for like 3 hours outside of the venue for no reason. But instead, they were stuck out there for half an hour. So, thanks, Tomatoes and house.
Thing is, for me, by the time we arrived, I was feeling incredibly ill. It really came down on me like a ton of bricks.
Here we are in Spartanburg. Adam's feeling like shit. Everybody's a bit under the weather.
So hot.
Whilst Adam was at home, ill, we went to see the natural water slide in South Carolina. And although the weather was pretty cold, it was a pretty good time. We got to slide down the rock and see some of the amazing countryside that you can get in that part of America.
After I came off stage, I went straight to the van and collapsed on the seat. Next thing I knew, we were on our way back to Jesse's house, and his parents had very nicely gave us a place to stay for the next few days, as we had around 3 days to spare before our Atlantis show. And boy, was I glad that we had those days off. I fell asleep on their couch after arriving there, and I kid you not, I did not wake up for 2 whole days.
He did a Jesus. He died and rose for our sins for 2 days, and on the 3rd day, he emerged from Jesse's living room, and the tour was normal again.
I still have no idea how I was able to do that. I worked out that in the end, I was asleep for around 40 hours.
In Spartanburg, we got to hang out at Jesse, the guitarist of Edges of Reality, the other guitarist, his house in Spartanburg, or in Greenville rather, for about 4 days.
Generously put up by Jesse Peck's family. You know, they put it with 2 bands in their house for, 4 days? You know, Adam was pretty ill at this point. We all thought he was dying. It was a bit concerning.
Some people had a seance. I wasn't there, but I've seen the seance.
You're a man now. Do y'all all have Snapchat?
Where are we at? We in Duluth! Duluth! Duluth, baby! We in Duluth! You wanna turn it up? Duluth! Turning it up in Duluth! Duluth!
We're in Duluth.
Well, it looks just how the reviews made me expect it to look.
We have a tradition where there's one song seems to define what the tour is. On the Spock's Beard tour, that was Abacab by Genesis. And on this tour, It was some track off of the soundtrack for the video game Doom. Our sound man just decided to play it every day, and I never once was bored of it. It was this heaviest thing.
Byron would play it all the time to the point where I could play it with my eyes closed, and by the end I was rocking out to it and smashing it, to be honest.
The heaviest, most brutal-tastic thing I've ever heard in my life. I hate Square Smash Bros. I do hate Square Smash Bros.
Hello, I'm Boy.
The Atlantis Show was one of the highlights for me. The audience was receptive. We made a lot of new friends that night.
We'd finished playing at the bar in Atlanta, and the decision was, let's not pay to find somewhere to sleep. We'll drive through the night and arrive in Fort Lauderdale in the morning. Bearing in mind it was already 1 or 2 in the morning when we started driving.
And that was a hard drive. I'd say probably that one and the prior journey to Nashville were the two hardest trips on the tour. But as always, we powered on.
So we had people taking turns to drive the passenger van throughout the journey. But we had Byron, following doing sound for a number of bands that night, drove all the way from Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale, single-handedly.
So it fell to me and Peter working kind of in shifts to keep Byron awake for the duration of that 10 hours. That was difficult because that meant obviously neither of us could sleep either.
I think my brain has blocked it out completely because I don't remember much that happened on that drive. We listened to a lot of Paramore because it was peppy and it kept us awake.
That seemed insane. We were quite worried, you know, we might crash. And I was in the van helping Byron out. He was driving through the night, and I don't know how he managed, to be honest. 11 hours. And I said to Byron, I will help you. You know, if you're falling asleep, I'll drive. And I fell asleep after an hour. And I had to go back in the other van because I wasn't a reliable companion in his van. I obviously couldn't help Byron throughout that journey. Well, I'm glad he made it. He's a hero. I mean, what that guy did was epic. 11-hour drive at night after a show. Wow. Whoever that guy is though, I still don't know who he is. Where's that guy?
After a stunning 11-hour drive, we are finally in Fort Lauderdale, back down in South Florida. Would you like to come see the view?
Rental generator.
Right, watch me jump. Downtown over there. Yeah, that's all to see.
It's a bit hot. Let's get back in.
Yeah, let me in, you
We definitely cut costs by doing that. We didn't die, which is good.
Finally, we arrived in Fort Lauderdale. It was one hell of a journey.
The cool thing about the US tour is that it culminated in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Joy's town, and we got a chance to go to the beach and have a bit of a swim. It was very interesting to, you know, to get a better understanding of Joy as a man, a human being, as a friend, a brother even. It was very important to see where he came from, and we were there. We witnessed the location of his upbringing.
I was very excited to play there because I hadn't played a gig in Fort Lauderdale probably about 5 years up to that point. Just I've been living in Nashville and London, back and forth between those two places. So all my Florida friends kind of had no idea what I was doing musically for those 5 years. So it was nice to kind of reintroduce Edge of Reality back to Fort Lauderdale, as well as in KYROS as well, and be like, here's what I've been up to all my high school friends and childhood friends.
The last gig of the tour took place at a venue called Cash Only. We partnered up with a charity organisation when it came to organising this gig. So to have that extra level of knowing that it was for a good cause, on top of the fact that it was the last show, really added something special for us.
That was one of the shows where we got to play the album in its entirety. I think we really gave it our best that night, and for me that was our strongest performance of the tour.
Last show of the tour, we've made it to Fort Lauderdale, Joey's hometown. You know, so he showed us the ropes, showed us around a bit, and we played. It's probably one of my favourite 2 shows of the tour. Good crowd there, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess I'm ready to go home. I'm going to miss it, but I'm ready for home. Where?
Dad.
Tour's done.
No, I'm going to say it was quite a life-changing experience.
I'm going to miss those guys from Edge of Reality. I really felt like I left a part on me there.
Incredible to be able to do that, I think, especially at the stage in our career, to be able to go and tour at America at this point. We made some great friends and the Edge of Reality guys, and it was just a great overall experience.
The tour was pretty much just booked by us. Like it was very self-put on, and it was our first time doing that. It was certainly my first time booking gigs anywhere, let alone across the United States. So it was a learning process for that. And there are definitely things that I know now that I could do better, and that I know to think about now that I didn't even know to think about before.
We've made so many new friends. We got to meet so many fantastic people. And huge thank you to everyone who was involved in the tour.
The tour literally happened just because me and Adam were talking one day in his kitchen. And we were thinking, wouldn't it be great to do some dates in the States? And we were just like, yeah, it would be great to do some dates in the States. And then we did. So, you know, as a certain Mike Holmes said to us yesterday, if you want to do a thing, do it.